What the sky looks like on Oscar day. Emotionally heavy movies. Whoever it is of the 5 women who is not married or has made some statement about marriage sucks ass is going to be the winner. There may be some social political eruptions during these Oscars. She's not likely to win against big frontrunners like Jessie, Buckley. I don't know, guys. You should see her chart. Kate Hudson is one of my favorite actresses. She's us, you know. Let's bring back some of the spirit of Hollywood. You know, not the weird spirit of Hollywood, not the Epstein collusion spirit of Hollywood. Every year we have an Oscar celebration, and every year everyone tries to guess who is going to win. What I love about astrology is it can give us the answers. I'm pretty sure we're going to have an upset, if not a shocking surprise, in this year's Oscar winner for Best Female Actress, the top spot. And we're also going to take a quick look at that Sinners lineup, in particular the actor who's up for as well the Best Actor award. You know, I'm not really an Oscars person. I don't really track it, but one of the people in the Oscars lineup, Kate Hudson, is one of my favorite actresses. And even though she is the underdog, even though the chances are that in a musical storyline, she's not likely to win against big frontrunners like Jessie, Buckley. I don't know, guys. You should see her chart. It looks like a powerful, independent woman who refuses to be married is going to shock the world with her powers of Artemis and become perhaps our winner. You know, she almost won an award like 30 years ago. She didn't quite make the cut. And I think she's going to turn out to be a surprise win. I hope I'm right, but I want to show you the astrology of why the day of the Oscars, the way the sky lines up, can also give us some unexpected developments regarding things to do with protest or people wanting to get up and say, enough, basta. So you might see some kind of kerfuffles going on within the audience itself or outside on the red carpet, where people who have protests against certain government policies or war policies may be coming through the sky. We have some volcanic energy with asteroid Volcano and the trans-Neptunian Volcanus. Whew. So there may be some social political eruptions during these Oscars. Now, in today's video, I'm explaining why. I'm showing you how astrology can tell you the truth. Now, I'm not going to get everything right. I may get none of it right. I'm doing my best. I'm not really usually doing astrology for Oscar predictions. Welcome to my channel. My name is Lori Lothian. We are using the Western Tropical Zodiac. Yes, this is not a sidereal astrology channel. We're also looking at the sky from the lens of predictive value. One thing I love about astrology, it's a map of time, past, present, and future. Let's see what this map is telling us in the future about the Oscars on Sunday, March the 15th, 2026. I've set the time on the chart for 4 p.m., which is when it begins, and 7 p.m., which is when it ends. We're really going to look at some of that as well. I'd be really surprised if we don't have like plants in the audience who are up there protesting war, or protesting government policies. I'd also be surprised if the Best Actress isn't a shocking win. Now, before I even show you the chart, can I say something? Song Sung Blue is the movie that Kate Hudson is in. She plays a husband-wife duo in the music industry, I believe in the 70s. And you know what's interesting is that I think the reason this might win, because the other movies in which women actresses are, contending to win the top spot prize, those movies are heavy. They're emotionally heavy movies. And if you guys can even imagine that maybe the Oscar panels are saying, man, it's been a heavy time in the last few weeks in our sky. We've had lots of negative things occur. We have polarization in the public. And then, by the way, she's a comeback kid. Kate Hudson comes from the old Hollywood glam, belongs to Goldie. It's like she's us, Let's bring back some of the spirit of Hollywood, not the weird spirit of Hollywood, not the Epstein collusion spirit of Hollywood. And I think that they may be giving her the win for a feel-good reason. So the world can have the underdog come into a winning position. It's a really rough time in the world right now. A lot of people are rooting for underdogs, even in wars. I mean, it's crazy that we're in such a difficult circumstance. The E-files, the war situation. assassinations and all of that. So let's go ahead and look at the sky today. Let's talk about it. I want to show you, we're going to start what the sky looks like on Oscar day, just as a standalone. Guess why I think it looks pretty electric. Then we're going to look at the actual chart of Kate Hudson versus Jessie Buckley. Buckley is the front runner to win for the gravitas of her role, for her brilliant acting, but Kate Hudson is a favored to win in my books because of the chart. Her chart and the day of the chart look extremely, extremely positive. All right, so I'm going to bring the sky to you. Some of you guys know that I've been working with a really great business manager, Christy, and he's trying to get me to upgrade my camera. And that means I just ordered the Sony camera. It's in the mail. It'll be here in a couple of days. So stay tuned for my better camera. I'm trying an experiment with my iPhone in a ring light set on high pixelation, but I don't think it's going to make much difference. I think when it compresses through the Zoom software, it all looks suck ass anyway. All right, so I'm taking us to the chart. Let's get started. I'm so excited. Let's get going. I might want to show you who the contenders are. I didn't even think about that. I'm on my laptop here and there's a camera. So Jessie Buckley, the movie's called Hamnet. She is favored to win for gravitas acting. You know, Roseburn, If I Had Legs, I'd Kick You. And Kate Hudson, Song Blue. And Renate Runvisve, whatever, Sentimental Value, and Emma Stone, Bugonia. I don't think Emma's going to win it. It would be a third Oscar win from her, from what I've read. And I think that they're not going to do that. I don't think it's going to be an Emma Stone, a trio of wins, very Meryl Streep, right? I think she won something too recently. Jessie Buckley for the movie Hamnet has won a series of other awards, maybe the Golden Globes. And so she's been on a run winning with that movie. And so again, I think that the Oscar committee, when you see the charts, will pick Kate as a kind of comeback kid moment and feel good moment. And it would also mean that Jessie has already won a bunch of awards anyway. So no big deal, right? So that's my thesis. I hope I'm right because I want to be right because being right is fun. All right. So don't forget to like and subscribe if you're new here. And don't forget to check out on my description box below every single thing you need to know about, the whole story. I want to talk about, before I show you the chart of Kate Hudson, a Kate Hudson quote. She says, I like the idea of being engaged forever. I mean, in a marriage engagement. The contractual thing is tough for me. I like my freedom. I like the concept of freedom. She said that March 5th of 2025, she has been engaged with one guy since 2016, had a child with him in 2018, was engaged in 2021, and doesn't want to change it to a legal marriage. There's an archetype that goes with that, which is the fiercely independent woman. It is the Diana/Artemis asteroid in our sky. This is the hunter goddess. She's got her 2 hunting hounds. She's got a bird of prey on her shoulder, sometimes an owl. She's got her mojo or falcon. She doesn't need a man. She doesn't need a man. Okay, so she's independent and fierce. She can take lovers, kind of thing. And so the Artemis asteroid is extremely powerful in terms of, it's actually the asteroid Diana, in terms of the day of the actual Oscars and in the chart of Kate Hudson, which when I looked at it today, I thought whoever it is of the 5 women who is not married or has made some statement about marriage sucks ass is going to be the winner. And that is Kate Hudson. All the other female actresses I just named, they don't really have that thing going on. So let's say that this might be one of the biggest clues that astrology is giving me through the devil is in the details of the minor asteroids that tell us the true stories. So what I'm doing now is I'm bringing us to the share of the actual sky on the very day of our Oscars at 4 p.m. I find it absolutely amazing that the Oscars happen on the regular, because it's the same time of year, when we usually end up seeing the ascendant in Leo in Los Angeles. Why Leo? Leo is stars and celebrities and performers. And it's almost like, did they have the astrology that they knew this time of year around 4 o'clock in Pacific to start the whole shebang going? This would be the best beginning energy. And we also see always the midheaven in Taurus, which is the sign of Venus and rules beauty and art and all of the performing arts as well. So you can see that this is exactly what kind of sky the Oscars are always associated with every single year. Now, This year, the asteroid America is tracking right on the ascendant at the start of the Oscars. So literally, you're going to notice there's something very big about this Oscar celebration. America, the asteroid in the sign of Leo on the day of the Oscars means something important. Maybe it has to do with the way America's feeling right now, which is pressured, and how the public is feeling, which is depressed and anxious, and they've got a little bit of learned helplessness going on. But I find this is just a fascinating vibe because it doesn't always happen. That asteroid takes about 6-7 years to go around the heavens, and for it to actually land here is not a common feature. So let's see how that plays out. I'm going to go through Kate's chart as well as Jessie Buckley, and then we'll take a quick look at the guy who's a top contender for the actor who's in the movie Sinners. Okay. Now I'm looking down at my laptop, looking at you. Yeah, it's a new way of doing things. I want to mention a few things here for the shocking value that I said, and will people be protesting? Up here we have Uranus, which is the god of revolution, rebellion, freedom, and sometimes protest. And he's up there at 28 degrees of Taurus, direct on the star Algol for decapitation, off with their heads, etc. It's also a star associated with harm to women or girls, right? Medusa was a story of grape, we'll use that word, and it's connected to the Medusa story, who lost her head because she was decapitated by the hero Perseus. Well, not to get too dark, but when the war started in Iran, that star was activated, right? And there was a girls' school that was struck very early on, harm to females. So I don't know if that's going to mean that there's going to be protests about things to do with war or with politics, or if it's going to be a story of someone decapitated. And now I don't mean literally decapitated on the day of the Oscars. That would be ridiculous. But maybe it would be somebody in a great position of power who, like a director, I'm not going to look at directors today or all of that, who is expected to win and loses his expected win. But it could also be about the protesting energy as well. I want to keep that in mind. There is a possibility of disruptive energy going on in the Oscars. And that disruptive energy has kind of been there for 7 years anyway. But now we got that intensity of that star Algol. That's where Uranus is now. We started moving through the 10th house, which would hit every Oscar celebration every year. Since 2019, really. And so 18-19, really it was 2019. And so we've been dealing with disruptive Oscar storylines. Alrighty. What else could bring any kind of revolutionary story going on in the sky? I don't know if this is this is an explosive energy. This is Volcanus, the trans-Neptunian placement. And right across from it, we also have over here this one, which is volcano, like a volcanic eruption. And it could be because it's in a broad square to the midheaven / Uranus on that day, especially in the red carpet moments. Look for some crazy people. I don't know when the red carpet is. What happens at 4? Do they start the ceremonies, guys? I don't watch them. Or do they do the red carpet? So whatever is going on probably in the first half hour, 4 to 4:30, 4 to 5 is where we have disruptive energies, where we have electrical currents, but it kind of bakes in because the Oscars start at 4. You see, the ascendant's moving forward. And as we get to like 5 o'clock, it's probably in Virgo. All right. The next thing I want to pay attention to. So I see explosive volcanic energy. Now, remember I told you about Diana? Well, she's the huntress and she doesn't like to get married and she always wants to keep her independence. And the only actress involved in a feminine archetype was Kate Hudson. There is the asteroid Diana on the day of the actual Oscars startup. There's the volcanic explosion. And there's the asteroid Estrella, the star maiden, who has to do with fame and stardom. So a star female explosive outcome is what I predict. I hope I'm right, because this is also in the house of the audience, the people out there watching the actual Oscars. This is the Oscar thing. This is the identity of the Oscar, the sun, but this is the actual, the public, the audience to the actual Oscars itself. Now, when we win an award in general, and we'll look at Kate Hudson's chart, we're looking at an 11th house stories. The 11th house represents the house of gains from our career, including red carpet moments, awards, and rewards. And so in that sense, I think we're going to say that, Mercury in the Oscar day onset always always represents the awards themselves. Like, here's your statue, right? Here's your gain, here's your award. I find it interesting that Mercury on the day, in this particular Oscar season is retrograde. What does retrograde mean? Somebody who's won an award or didn't win an award, like they missed winning an award. Now, I believe that Kate Hudson almost got an award several years ago. I mean, like a long time ago, for a movie, and she didn't get the award. I'm pretty sure that's my memory of it. Correct me if I'm wrong. So it's like somebody who in the past could have but didn't, and the Mercury retrograde says we'll bring you an award this time, with the North Node of Fate and the Vestal Flame of Sacred Devotion, which can represent as well sometimes a woman who's single and celibate, or who is not married. Vesta is the unmarried feminine. So again, she doesn't want to marry the guy. She's not interested in that. Also, you'll notice that Mercury, the award itself, because, this applies to everybody who's getting an award, but I'm trying to apply it to Kate Hudson, that Mercury here is also activated with Athena and the knowledge and wisdom goddess. Yes. And there's something about this that may be also indicating some of the winners of the awards will have Athenian stories. Athena is also the goddess of war. I'm not tracking every movie. If movies have to do with victory and war or knowledge and wisdom, then maybe some of the awards go to movies like that. It's really hard to predict a winning movie in astrology because I don't have a birth chart for the beginning of a film, right? Like the day of filming that they started could work, but I don't know the day they started filming. All right. Other stories is salaciousness, something shocking, gossipy, sometimes sexually scandalous, but just like, salacious news, shocking news. There's Salacia on the Oscars day, up with a Saturn in fall, up with Neptune, the god of Hollywood, and there's Venus, the god of females, in exile. I'm going to say I think the salaciousness is going to maybe come through what might be protest energy, or some kind of pushback, and it could be the E-files. Or it could be that there's just something gossipy and salacious going on. I mean, I know Oscars have all kinds of high gossip, right? And are there halftime shows in Oscars? Maybe some crazy ass, yeah, I think so. In the Oscars, people perform. There may be a kind of shocking or overtly sexual or salacious performance, when somebody sings or whatever they do in the Oscars. I wish I'd watched the Oscars before. I don't really watch them. It's just funny that I'm doing this and I don't watch the Oscars. Here we have Okiro, which is with Chiron. It's when you know something to be true and you're punished for saying it. So who's trying to say something true and could be punished for saying it and turned into a horse, basically, in the year of the fire horse? I think somebody up here is making political statements or statements about war internationally. And I think that that's going to be, or gossip, or things to do with the E-files and legal justice. And there's going to be a big salacious moment there, like scandalous comments made by somebody in the Oscars. I'm really excited to see what that might look like myself. All righty. Other stories going on. If you have a talent to best the gods, like you are better than Athena at weaving, right? This is the asteroid Arachne. And it's really about raw, pure, sheer talent, a vertex moment. Somebody's going to take an award who's got maybe a raw, sheer talent. Probably Cupido's there. Are any of the contenders in the male or female supporting or best supporting about love stories and marriage stories, but also raw, sheer talent that bests the gods. Orpheus is here. That can be a story about losing one's wife, or one's partner. So being widowed and trying to, cope with loss and grief in love and marriage. If there's going to be, because I'm not tracking all the movies, guys, I don't have time. You tell me, because this raw talent, the best Athena, best the gods, that's a sign that somebody's going to win that could be considered to be relatively young or new, or, just a sheer performance quality, probably a supporting actor, because this is a 6th house placement. So someone was going to get a best supporting actor role that kind of just says, this person could be like Meryl Streep, the raw, sheer talent that could best the luminaries or the gods. And there's Astarte, star power, star talent. Another one of the gods is of the stars. So I see a best supporting role, probably male or female, but maybe female because Arachne was a female in the story of Arachne, who will usurp the gods, be better than the people that we think will win. and take a surprise win there as well. Okay. All right. So now you got the gist of that. I'm going to move away from that. And what we're going to talk about is Kate Hudson as a standalone chart, why I think she's going to win. And then we're going to talk about how this guy overlaps hers. Then we're going to throw a Horary. Will Kate Hudson win? Then I'm going to very quickly look at the dude who's with Sinners to see if I think his chart's a winner or not. I haven't looked at it. I'm going to be doing it real time with you. All right. So let's hit the thumbs up and like if you like this kind of Oscars performance review. All right. So let's go ahead and look at sweet Kate Hudson. I've always liked Kate Hudson. I don't know why. I just have always vibed with that actress. This is her chart on her birthday, 1979, April 19th at 10:51 a.m. in Los Angeles, California. First things first, we're going to notice that as we look at her chart, she's born with her ascendant in the sign of Cancer. Well, you may well know that Jupiter is traveling through Cancer right now. He just stationed direct. He's sitting at 15 degrees on the Oscars day, stationed direct on the 11th, 10th, 11th, time zone dependent. And he's on a star for success called Sirius, fame and fortune and success. And he's sitting here at 15 degrees. Her ascendant's at 24, and Jupiter is here as well. And she's coming into her Jupiter return, which will be happening closer to, which is very positive, reset for her life, a new beginning full of prosperity and luck. And it could indicate a reboot of her acting career to a new level of success. So that will be happening for her closer to the end of June, her Jupiter return. But she's in a momentum field of great luck with a little explosive energy at birth. She can surprise us all with Volcanus there at birth. But Jupiter's currently moving through her first house, which is very lucky. Like if you're going to win an election in a politics, you want Jupiter in your first house. So she's got winter stuff going on here. She's born with her stellium here in this 10th house. Look at that, with an Aries anaretic sun for fame. 29 degrees is the fame degree. This is her career. She is famous. She is a lot of fortunate. She's born with the goddess of marriage up there. She's married to her career, certainly not to the guy she's with. And she could be known also at some point for her coupledom, a little bit like Bill and Hillary or Sonny and Cher or Brad and Angelina. At some point, she could be well known as a dynamic duo. Okay. And you'll notice she's dedicated and devoted to her career, and she's passion and drive for her career and purpose. So this is her powerhouse stellium up here. And this powerhouse stellium is beautifully activated by our current sky. So we currently have a Venus transit through here, which blesses her midheaven. I'll put that up in a minute. Another one thing I want to say about this chart is that she's in the 46th age, right? So if you were to, I have to double check my math. That's 21 plus 25. Yeah, she's in her 46th age. 46 is literally the house of good spirit, where we get rewards and awards. Our career is rewarded. We receive the awards of our career ambition. We can get a literal Employee of the Year award, more money, more fame, more celebrity. We can get an Oscar award. So her 11th house is the age that she's in. It's called a profection age, not perfection. It began on her birthday in April 2025. And so here she is. This is her natal 11th house, where she gets to be ruled by Venus, and Venus is in exaltation. So the whole age, she's born with Venus exalted in Pisces. The whole of the age for her, 46, brings exalted Venus energy into the narrative. And that means that Venus is the boss planet of her. It's the planet that rules her success and her career and anything else that's going to happen. Venus star pointed with the sun on January the 6th in her house of the audience and marketplace, which is auspicious to open up new doors of opportunity through to October for her in her professional life vis-a-vis her audience and marketplace and fans. So we like the new refreshing star point as well. Now, hope you're tracking with me, guys. Hope you're tracking with me. See how she's a chironic wound in the house of rewards? She probably thought she was going to win that Oscar years ago. Maybe it deflated her. This is about awards and a wound, right? And she's born with a wound with Orpheus, which is like, sorrow and grief. And she's born with that chironic wound here, also connected to Okara, which is everyone predicts you're going to get it, or someone predicts it. Maybe you don't. Who knows? That's kind of a prophetic asteroid. Now, I'm not going to spend much more time here on her chart, right? I'm not going to keep looking at her chart because I want to show you the outer sky so you can be dazzled like I am about why I think she's going to win. So what we take is we take the Oscars day on March the 15th and we layer it over her own sky. And if you don't think she's going to win, I'm shocked because she has a lot of fortune transiting as the Oscars open over her volcanic eruption of unexpected win. She also has, as you might notice, okay, that she has Venus, the Lord of her perfection age, sitting on right on top of her midheaven at 12 degrees. Venus is at 11 degrees and 48 minutes. It's within a degree of her high noon, her visible reputation and success. And Venus, if you're an actor or performer, is the goddess of those things. Now, it's not a slam dunk. Venus is not in great shape. She's exiled, but with Salation next to her, is the salacious thing that she wins and no one expected it. This just means a big scandalous or exciting news of some sort that crests through the cycle. So it could be a positive indication of win. Is it a slam dunk? Not necessarily. No. But I'm excited to see it. It's a strong possibility. She's having a Diana return. Don't forget Diana, the independent, fierce feminine, needs no man, take it or leave it. She's in the middle of a fierce Diana return. So this asteroid's come back to its natal chart as well for her. And I think that there's a lot to be said in her natal chart as well. And that she has her IC when she was born. She has her IC right down here with Pluto. That's her rock solid childhood, everything about, death and rebirth. This is a difficult childhood when you have Pluto here, just so you know. Not usually is it easy. She might have had some death and rebirth or difficult or traumatic experiences in her childhood, but I'm not here to psychoanalyze her. But if you look at the MCIC axis and Venus is enervating it, right, making it wake up, there's something about that just says to me, the power that belongs to her at the root of her sky wants to light up the top of her sky. It's going to be like a guitar string being strung down this line like this. Okay. And if you were to say, well, Pluto 12, 17, and you were to spin the sky like this, looking for something that activates it. Cupido, what you have passion for, is squaring it. And we like a trine. Ideally, the moon, which means public appeal and the people, is trining her MCIC axis on the day of the actual Oscars, which is very positive for her. Now, let's take a look at Jessie Buckley quickly. Jessie Buckley is not in the most auspicious circumstances for winning, but she's not in a terrible circumstance either. Oh, Jessie Buckley. I made a little glitch. I didn't have a time of birth for her chart. So when you're listening to this section, take it with a grain of salt, though some fundamental things are true. I will go back later in this video to actually fine tune Jessie Buckley yet again. So just keep that in mind as we go through the segment. There's some of that when I'm assuming I know the ascendant isn't true, but some of the stuff I am saying is importantly going to be actually still true. So, and one of them will be the perfection month that she's in, which is not a positive month for her to win. So thanks for being kind to me. I forgot when I cast a chart, I was going to use a solar chart. Take care. Thanks, guys. Remember this tool I'm teaching you guys. I'm a teaching astrologer. This is what Kate has going on here. I'm excited. Look. Let's talk about, this is the age of awards and rewards. She's 46. And this is the month of April of 2025. We go April, May, June, July. Oops. Of 2025. So we go April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November, December, January, February, March. Kate Hudson is in her 10th house month, ruled by Mars. Mars is the boss of her. In the month of March, the awards ceremony is going to be on the 15th of March, right between the midheaven and Juno. She's winning an award, if she does win, about being a married couple. It's a couple story. That's the theme of the movie. And, boom. You could even look up the name of the character she plays. I think it's Clarissa something in astro.com and probably find the character is in her chart in a significant way. But this is enough to tell me, I like this. She's in her 10th house month. She's at the top of her sky. She's born with Mars and dignity up here. That's her natal condition. I mean, is that a slam dunk or is that a missed opportunity? Real-time Mars, when she's being activated in that month. The real-time Mars is in her 9th house, coming into contact with Venus, her exalted Venus. So that's a positive story, because this is the 9th house, international success, and the Oscars are watched internationally. Let's say I think it's a win for her. I'm really hoping I'm right. I do like her. It's a comeback kid story. I think she missed the Oscar several years ago, and now it's her turn again. Now we're going to look very quickly at the Sinners guy. Okay, the guy who's the main actor in the Sinners movie, which has been nominated for everything, it seems, like directors and this and that. Let's see if we think he's a win. I'm not going to compare him to other people because I'd be here forever. Let's take a look at that dude, and then let's finish up. Okay, so guys, I just realized when I was looking at Jessie Buckley's chart, I had no time for her, and I had moved it to a solar chart with the sun in the 1st house. So I'm just going to make a correction here and say I still say that she's not going to be the winner based on all of the other variables I said, but I am going to go back and take a look at her chart with you again. Maybe I'll just splice in the new stuff. Let's take a look at this Jordan guy, and then let's do a Horary. What will Kate Hudson win? So Michael B. Jordan is the actor. Am I sharing? I am. And this is his sky. It's in the movie Sinners, Best Actor Award. He's up for that. He's born in 1987 in the month of February, which is behind us. So he just turned 38 years old. And let me double check my math. No, that's not right. Gosh, I can't do math on the fly. I really can't. Is that right? Yeah, I should be 38. Yes, he's 38 years old. So he's 38 years old. Let's go with the profection age. This is his accurate birth time. All right. So he's born 38 years old. This means that he's going to be here in his 3rd house profection age. And that means he's ruled by Mars. And by the way, that's a Virgo rising chart. He's ruled by Mars. And so what's Mars doing natally? Mars is in his 8th house. That's not necessarily a good place for him in terms of trying to win an award. I'm going to go with that. That makes me a little bit anxious. But on the other hand, we'll have to look at the current sky around his chart. And if we were to perfect him, moving him forward, right, bit by bit, and we start here to being February of 2026, then March of 2026 is his 4th house month in a 3rd house age. The 3rd house is an aversion to the midheaven. The 3rd house, the only good thing about it is he's got Jupiter moving through his 11th house where his moon is, popular with the people, but quite a ways past his natal moon. And then we go back here, we got him in the 4th house month in a 3rd house age. 3rd house is a weak house. 4th house is a hidden house. That's not feeling like a win to me. He's even got Saturn here. Could be some compression. All right, that's not great. He's ruled by Jupiter in the month of the actual awards ceremony on the 15th of the month. And close to the 15th, he's activating that Saturn. And Jupiter is the Lord of the month in the awards ceremony, which is positive because Jupiter is moving through his 11th house. But on the other hand, I didn't even touch base on eclipses, really. There was a Virgo eclipse. It did happen on March 3rd. It's not on his ascendant. That would have been an eclipse earlier. It's quite a ways down to, I think it was at 12 degrees. So there's a South Node eclipse of loss that happened on March the 3rd. So far, this chart is not impressing me to say that he's going to win. That could also be an upset, but given that so many of the director and everybody else are being nominated, there's a possibility this could be a disappointment. And then if we go ahead and take a look at the day of the event on the Oscars, a day itself, he does have Jupiter past his moon. So it'd be better if Jupiter was right on his moon, coming towards his moon. So there's a lot of hype about him winning an award. The Lord of his house of awards is the moon in his natal chart, the 11th house of rewards and awards and cosmic rewards. His natal moon is in a good place to win awards in dignity, but he's not in an 11th house age. He's in a 3rd house age, ruled by Mars in his 8th house. Not liking it so far. And then also on the day of the awards ceremony, he has his midheaven here, ruled by Mercury. So what's Mercury doing on the day of the awards ceremony? Mercury is in retrogradation. Mercury is with Mars. Mercury's overlapping his vertex and his natal Mercury. He's having a Mercury return. And this doesn't feel so good either. The way I'd like it is if he was going to win an award that had been, you know, I don't know, lost to the past somehow, like Kate Hudson. So I don't know, Mercury retrograde, Mercury with Mars. This is, yeah, this isn't as good as it could be or should be for him. I mean, he's got a great natal Jupiter in his kingdom, in the house it belongs to, in Pisces in the seventh house, which can bring very important people to his life to help support him in his career and his passion, especially if it's acting. But I don't know. Doesn't feel like it. It feels like it's a no, and I'm shocked. I didn't have time to look at this before. I don't think he's going to win. I just don't think he's going to win. I think it's going to be a disappointment here. I don't see enough success narratives going on. His midheaven, the high noon of his chart, ruled by Mercury, and his Mercury in the setting place with a retrograde Mercury here. I don't know. Feels like a no. I don't want to spend forever on the Oscars. I'd rather be talking about war myself. But let's just say I don't get the most exciting chart for him to come off as a win at this time. That's where I'm going to go. And as I said, he's in his third house age, so kind of a weak house in general, ruled by Mars in a difficult house, the eighth house. Although a dignified Mars, but a difficult placement in aversion to the third house. And then you look at the fourth house month of March, and Saturn can be a constriction. There's Diana. Diana's around for everybody. I have the same sky going. All right. So I think he's not going to pull off a win this time. I think they're going to give it to like a lot of the directors and stuff. And I'm not going to look at the other contestants. Last thing we're going to look at Horary. Will Kate Hudson win? We're going to look at, I'm going to look again at Jessie Buckley, and I may have to edit because I had a brain fart. I forgot that I didn't have a time for Jessie Buckley. So, or is that true? Or did I have a time for Jessie Buckley? Let me take a look, guys. I don't remember if I did or didn't when I cast this chart for her. Maybe I did have a time, but I don't think I did. Yeah, time unknown. So we have the right day and all of that, not the time. We could do a solar chart. Now I'm going to have to edit, and I don't think I have time. Let's just playfully look at it again. So we don't know what her rising sign really is. We can't operate on the principle of, the ascendant. We have to pretend that we're operating from a sun in the first house position. So if we were to go like this and move the sun into the first house for Jessie Buckley, then we're going to say something along the lines of, it looks like Jessie Buckley, with pretending that the sun is her first house, and that new moon that she is, right? The new moon cell is the identity of who she is. And we don't have a time. So we're operating blindly a bit here. But on the day of the actual Oscars performance, what is going to succeed for her? How could she possibly win an Oscar? Well, we don't know where her midheaven really is. So ignore those storylines, guys. Ignore everything about that. We're going to have to go purely on planetary power. The best planetary power for Jessie Buckley is definitely that she has the sun at 6 degrees, where Venus at 6 degrees. I think it was at 6 degrees, pretty close to that, or 9 degrees, but where Venus rose in January. So there is solar power from a Venus star point that just activated her sun with Neptune. That much I can say. But I can also look at her profection age of 36 as a general principle. It can be a powerful age. It can bring some success. So I can't say much more because I really don't know much more about her, like in terms of her chart, because her profection age goes December is the first. December is the first house. December, January, February, March. She's still in a fourth house month. That's true no matter what's in her sky. She's in a fourth house month when she's supposed to be at the top of the sky. It could indicate a weakness for her in winning. And I may not have time to edit what I did before. I probably should edit it because I'm going to confuse you guys without a birth time. So you're listening to Jessie Buckley in a weird spot. Sorry about that. After I touted Kate Hudson to the high hills, Kate Hudson still has a stronger chart, I'm pretty sure. Now, will Kate Hudson win? I mean, seriously, will Kate Hudson win? Let's take a look. Is it totally off the wall that she's going to win? Because I don't think she's considered at all a possibility, right? Will Kate Hudson be a winner? Everyone's a winner now. I am querent. I'm asking the question. This is the Cancer ascendant, which is ruled by the moon. Lori is the querent here and she's in her house of work and livelihood. I'm just doing this video for my job. So yeah, I'm just like, do my job. My business manager said, put out an Oscar video. So here we have the moon, me doing my work for you guys with my natural talents and gifts. Then we move like Arachne there. Then we were going to talk about Kate. Kate Hudson is not me. She's someone else. She's the ruler of the cusp of the 7th house, right? I do Horary in my Patreon community. Come join me there. The ruler of the 7th house, cusp, is Saturn. So that means that in this chart, Kate Hudson is Saturn. Now, she is an older woman, right? Not older, but she's not like an ingenue. So yes, there's Kate Hudson up at the top of the sky in the 10th house. Yes, in a condition of exile. Is that a good thing or a bad thing? Not sure, but it's Kate Hudson in the top of the sky in the 10th house of public recognition. So she's sitting in a very powerful and positive part of the sky. That's all what I'm trying to say. And she's with Venus, who's, all good things and acting. Venus is the ruler of the house of awards. So Kate Hudson is in the 10th house of recognition, of public recognition, with Venus, the ruler of the house of awards. And there's the old surprise button. I think this is saying, yes, she's going to win. She needs to get an award, right? She's to put the damn thing in her hand, right? So if you're going to say, what is an award? It could be the ruler of the house of rewards and awards, the 11th house, in long range goals and dreams and wishes. And she wants to get her hands on that baby. She's Saturn and Venus is here. So at least they're close to each other. We could make a story. You can kind of play with this. Sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. But there's about 4 degrees between the two of them. So 4 to 5 degrees, because it's almost an 8 degree. So what happened 4 to 5 degrees ago? 4 weeks ago? What happened 4 months ago or 4 weeks ago? I don't know. Do you guys know when the Oscar judges made the decisions? When were they contemplating who would win? Because it's like 4 to 5 somethings ago, the Oscar, if she's going to get it, was actually in her hand, not really in her hand, but 4 to 5 somethings ago, degrees ago, days ago, weeks ago, months ago. She already had it in her hand, but she doesn't know she has it in her hand because she has to be publicly announced. Okay, that's what I got for you. I'm going to edit out the Jessie Buckley mistake. Maybe I'll just put in a little note to file about that, hopefully. And hopefully you enjoyed this fun time together. I feel bad that the dude isn't going to win. I don't think he's going to win. And maybe all the directors and all the other people will for the Sinner Show movie. I don't think I've watched it. I should go watch that. Everyone take care. Don't forget to like and subscribe and hit the notification bell. You want to learn some divine timing tools with me? I'm teaching in the month of May. Look at my description box below. You have a waitlist link there where you'll get early access, early bird discount notification when I open up the enrollment page and cart, which I haven't done yet. I'd love to have you, but that class is for people who are intermediate level. If you're a brand new person and you've never learned the basics of astrology, do not take the Divine Timing Masterclass with ancient timing tools. You will be lost. And I don't want you to be lost in my class. I really like to teach you to fish, not give you a fish. Thanks, guys. Share this video with friends and family. Let's come back after the awards and see if I completely missed the boat or if I got anything right. And I'm okay if I missed the boat and I got everything wrong. It's okay too. All right. Ciao, ciao.
Lunatic astrology.